Mojave Desert. Why am I looking at one of the most desolated pieces of land in the world, somewhere between southeast California on the border to Nevada, called Death Valley? And why would anybody in his sane mind choose to live here, off the grid, without running water, miles away from people, except some air traffic, because I'm very close to one of the biggest air bases for the Marines in the United States, called 29 Palms. Now it's very simple. I needed a secluded place after Corona and after all this disaster that happened economically in my business and many other businesses, to come to a place that I can conserve what little money I have left, number one. And number two, to finally write and do stuff that I always wanted to do, that was not possible in my studio in Hollywood with the constraints of commercial music production. Now I get to write a book, I get to finish my symphony, and I get to tell you a little bit about myself. My name, Alexander von Bubenheim, and this is me. And this is where I live, a 1955 school bus from San Francisco that I converted into a little house. It's a 16-ton manual gear, manual steering, shifting bus. In here, I have pretty much anything I need to survive. My little writing area, my living room, my kitchen. On my right, we're gonna pass the bathroom. And finally, my bedroom. This is the circumstances under which I'm living right now. This is my studio. It's a vintage 1964 Bowles Aero trailer which houses my studio. This is my studio. Here is where I do most of my work. And it's big and it's nice. Here I'm outside right now of the bus, as you can see, and this is where I do most of my work right now. It is unbearable, there's no question about it. It is usually in the daytime somewhere between 110 and 130 Celsius, no, Fahrenheit, but still plenty of hot, 65 degrees Celsius. It's the moment where the body kind of tells you to shut down and do nothing. However, I cannot do that because I'm really busy. So I'm going to explain to you a little bit who I am and where I came from. I was born in Munich, a little boy in Munich. I went to school with lederhosen and white shirts and got in a lot of trouble, which led me to the fact that I wanted to write my book about my life, because it's actually really funny. It will be in German, but still maybe someone translates it one day if somebody cares. Then I was very early involved in music. It was just not something that I really wanted to do. I wanted to become an astronaut. Instead, I became a professional skydiver. Close enough, I thought. And music was always something I wanted to do. I needed to do. It was like it was in me. I had no formal education. My parents wouldn't let me do that. I had to go to economic school and stuff like this, and I struggled my way through it. But I was very successful writing very, very big commercials, which also allows me now to sit here and live a little bit on my royalties. Wow, there's one car coming by. That is in the Mojave Desert called a traffic jam, if you see one car a day. Now, then I'm jumping ahead now. In 2008 and 2009, I had the chance to travel the world and record different indigenous people. So I spent 6 weeks in the jungle of the Northwestern Territory in Australia with the Aborigines and recorded their singings, their didgeridoos, which they call the irdaki. And after that I thought, my God, what a wonderful way to preserve, ancient singing and music history, because these First Nation people don't really write stuff down like the Catholics did. Then in between 2014 and 2018, I was traveling the southwestern United States and visited tribes. Now that was a challenge because they don't want you to be filming them or recording them. I gained that trust at a motivational speaking seminar at the Mescaleria Apache High School. And so it began an album with Saginaw Grant that was a multi-award winning album now. Thank you to all of you. Called Don't Let the Drums Go Silent. And what's fascinating about this is that I did not want to just record a snippet of native singing and then put it on a hip-hop beat. This wasn't what I wanted to do.
People aren't satisfied with what they have in life. We always share, give to those who don't have.
The intention was to have the original frequency, the original tone of that singing be prevalent, including the tempo. So everything I did, I had to adjust to that. So in the moment it was in my music studio, everything that was musically happening in the background needed to adhere to the original material. That was a tough thing to do, but I achieved it. And one interesting thing, which leads me to another thing I'm involved in, my book that I wrote called Sound Advice, where I'm talking about frequency responses, why they do what in the body, and who is, what is responsible, for example, why do you get goosebumps when you listen to something? There's a mathematical plan, like everything in the universe, for it. Colors, tones are closely related siblings. Oh, and for those of you who wonder, this is my bathtub outside in the desert under the stars. And it's very windy. Sometimes the winds come through here with enormous speeds, carry sand, dust devils, like little typhoons that throw sand around like there's no tomorrow. But before it gets too heavy, you can see it's already starting. I'm going to finish up pretty quick. Sound Advice is the mathematical research of frequencies, what they do to your body and why they do it. And what's fascinating about the Native American Indians is they intuitively know these sounds and they use them. So I'll give you one example out of many. You know the Roman scale Do, Re, Mi, Fa, Sol. Sol stands for Soleil, the fifth tone in the scale, the fifth of a basic harmony. That color is 126.22 in frequency, which is octavated again by the rotation speed of the star, up to a frequency that we can hear, which now accumulates in the letter G. Do, Re, Mi, Fa, Sol, G, Soleil. But if I go further up with this mathematical formula, I come to a nanometer spectrum, color spectrum, which is, funny enough, red, orange. The frequency of planet Earth is very similar. It's on the well-temperated piano since Johann Sebastian Bach in 1747 is 136.10. That color is turquoise. Now, whenever you go to a church, check it out. Every church song is written in C, which was before the well-tempered piano. Now it's C sharp, C. Now, that tone is also the measurement of many ancient calculations and is also mostly the singing frequency of First Nation people. That was the challenge, because you cannot tune music like this, which later became an award-winning album. But you cannot just pitch in 440, because there was many pitches and many attempts in the past to change pitches. 1860 was 40-45, and then the Stradivari strings couldn't hold that load, so that lowered it to 440. Then it was 432. And this is a little bit about me, Alexander von Bubenheim. I hope I see you in one of my seminars or lecture series, or listen to some of my music. I'm just finishing my book, as you can see, and my symphony, and I hope you enjoyed a little bit this introduction, and I wish you a wonderful day.